Well, folks, you have found us. You have found the #1 podcast for you. You who gets up every day and gets after it, bringing fitness to those around you. Sometimes, whether you realize it or not. And today, Coach Brett, we're going to bring the important things.
Definitely. I have got some phenomenal important things.
And some not so important things.
That's what I specialize in. I specialize in not so important things as well. So we're going to blend both of those together, Kim.
That's because it's all about bringing fitness full circle, which is now the name of this podcast, Fitness Full Circle. And that's physical, health, wealth, risk, emotional, spiritual, whatever you do to bring fitness to the people around you. That's what we're going to be talking about today.
Absolutely.
Right?
And on top of that, this is podcast number 7, lucky number 7, and lucky to have special guest Beth Wolfe from Platinum L.I.F.E Coaching and BW Global Solutions.
LLC.
Yep. And she's going to talk about her passions in helping keep other people fit in their professional and personal lives. And she's also going to drop some tips on what you can do to help keep yourself fit as well. But we're not just going to talk about this in the podcast today. We're going to talk about a myriad of other things. I saw an article in the Washington Post, Kim, right? It's about peeps, but I'm not talking about people. We're talking about the regular peeps. 28% of kids 12 to 19 years old are pre-diabetic. We're going to dive into that a little bit. And then I am going to go off on this Chinese manufacturer who launches a gaming bed, the most laziest thing I've ever seen. We want to talk about that, but not all gaming is lazy. There is gaming with gains. The latest trend is exergaming. And I want to talk about this really cool thing. It's called exergaming, but remember we used to call this thing something else. We called this the Wii. So
yeah,
it's called exergaming now. But I want to talk about this really cool thing I saw where it talks about gaming your core. And then, of course, we wouldn't have a podcast if we didn't do the pop culture pop quiz. And we'll get more on that later. But it's going to be about in honor of Beth Wolfe, who has worked with celebrity athletes. We're going to have celebrities who were athletes. What was their sport? And that's going to be coming up in today's podcast.
Brett, it's T-shirt time.
It's T-shirt time. Woo-hoo! So we had a series of rigorous rules in order to get a T-shirt. Number 1, I don't remember it, but the main rule was you have to be an avid fan of the show that is not a blood relative.
That was,
And we found her, Valarie from Silverdale. She is the first winner of the Fitness Full Circle T-shirt. Nice.
Good job, Valarie. Thank you for watching our podcast.
The T-shirts are on the water. It's coming from Latvia. I didn't realize when I placed the order that the T-shirts were not domestic. They are coming from, in fact, a country called Latvia. Kim, just like it wouldn't be a morning without a cup of coffee, it would not be a Fitness Full Circle podcast without mentioning our unofficial sponsor, the Coffee Oasis. So, Kim, the Coffee Oasis. If I go down,
see what I did there?
I see. It was seamless. If I go down to a corporate coffee chain drive-through right at the end of the hill here and get a cup of coffee, what special things happen? Can you tell me?
You're gonna pay too much, and then nothing else cool happens at all.
That's correct. But if I happen to go to Coffee Oasis and get a cup of coffee, what special things happen, Kim?
Well, first of all, you're going to get a delicious cup of coffee at a very fair price. And then you are going to help, create shelters and clothing and education and job training and a bunch of safe program activities for our at-risk youth here in Kitsap County.
And do all that buying a cup of coffee.
That's all you have to do. It's that simple, really.
So how do we support all those particular things again? Can you tell me?
In a phrase, you buy their coffee.
Deal. Where
That's
you
it.
get your coffee may not mean much to you, but it means everything to them. Coffee Oasis, restoring communities through compassionate youth programs and coffee business. So go to their business and buy some coffee.
Buy their coffee.
Buy their coffee. You can buy their coffee online as well. So if you're not here locally in Kitsap County, you can go online and have it delivered to your home.
Yes.
And it doesn't come from Latvia.
Not
Good
yet.
tip,
No.
Beth.
I just
love
putting it out there to our global listeners
Yeah.
that if you're
There are
wondering,
many. There are
yeah,
many.
that you could make a difference right here in Kitsap County with our extraordinary youth that are on their way to doing extraordinary things.
Well, Kim, little light on the listener comments this week. It could have been from the holiday. I'm not really sure, but we did get one fantastic one. Sherilyn from Bainbridge Island says, I listened to all your episodes in order. You are so easy to listen to. And I thought that was wonderful. Yeah.
Lynn, thank you for that.
Easy listening.
Brett, I think that we should give away another t-shirt. And this time we should do so just by having one of our listeners just comment. We want to see more of your feedback, your thoughts, what's going on in your world. Again, we only accept positive feedback. So if you have something negative to say, it will be automatically filtered out, unfortunately. So
yeah, and that's not anything we do. That's software related stuff. Yeah, we only use the most positive software, so it only gives us the most positive comments.
I'm positive about that. It's not us. It's definitely the software.
Exactly.
So yeah, if you want a t-shirt from Fitness Full Circle, all you have to do is comment on one of our many platforms, which are, Spotify, YouTube, Audible. There's a few more, right? We're kind of everywhere.
And then we'll put you into the drawing for the Fitness Full Circle nice t-shirt at the next podcast, at podcast number 8.
When it gets off the ship from Latvia, you can have a shirt.
From Latvia, yeah. So we had Easter yesterday. Everyone celebrates Easter in their own manner. How do you celebrate Easter, Kim?
That was yesterday? Shoot, I totally missed it. No, just kidding. Growing up, I used to go to my grandfather's farm in Sequim, Washington, and we did just a huge family Easter egg hunt. It's definitely downsized over the years. But we did a miniature Easter egg hunt with my son yesterday, and filled it up with candies and money and all the little things for the eggs. How about you?
We went to lunch at extended family Easter, and so it's always fun when there's a potluck because you have food choices of not good and then worse. So
sounds delicious.
Yeah, lots of carbohydrates, not a whole lot of stuff on the meal plan there. What about you, Miss Wolfe? How did you partake in yesterday's festivities?
Gosh, I had a really interesting endeavor with a neighbor, and I was just hanging out. But I do have the Easter bunny that visits my yard. I have wild bunnies around my house. And so I thought, why not just call him Baxter? So he showed up in my yard. So the Easter bunny actually did authentically visit me on Easter.
Wow.
So I'm just saying.
Let Johnny know. Johnny will be jealous.
I know. He's going to be so jealous.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Baxter showed up, and then I have a lovely neighbor next door, and I was for a moment part of the Puget Sound Energy affiliate and helped problem solve why her home was not getting power. So yeah, that was super fun. We were flipping breakers, and so that was my theme on Easter was Baxter the bunny and flipping breakers.
Flipping breakers with Baxter. Love it.
I love it. That's an Easter for the making right there.
Yeah.
With all that Easter candy out there and all the kids coming on their chocolate sugar rush buzzes, I'm going to be the buzzkill on this, Kim. I was reading an article in the Washington Post, and 28% of children 12 to 19 years old are pre-diabetic. And I was thinking about that as I was watching all the kids in the yard, Easter egg hunting and all the candies and the chocolate bunnies, and just blowing my mind on that. And just that whole idea, and truly what got me thinking with that was, the lack of just the way that things have come, the lack of exercise, the lack of nutritional meal planning and things like that. But one of the things that really kind of I thought about too is how that relates to, that's 12 to 19 year olds, 28%. Then when you look at adults, that gets even higher, 35 plus, 1 in 3 people have diabetes over that age. So what I got to thinking was on the life insurance piece of it. And I know, Kim, because we've talked several times, you really talk a lot about insuring your kids. You really talk about, creating that life insurance. And so I had a really interesting question for you. After I read this article, I was really bummed out by it. And I called you up and I said, Kim, do you guys have pre-screening for life insurance for kids? If over a quarter of kids end up pre-diabetic, what do you have? And you had some really great feedback for me. Can you talk to our listeners about what you and I talked about?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and goes back to what you just said, is that it's super important to me that we do talk about life insurance for your children. And it's not in the way that, people like to think about life insurance in the form of putting a dollar on somebody's head. I don't ever want to put a value on my child's life. And I agree, there is no value that could ever replace your child. That's not what the intention is for. What it's for is that when you are a infant, a toddler, a child, you are the healthiest, in theory, that you will ever be. Today you are the healthiest that you may ever be. You are certainly the youngest you will ever be today, right? So when we talk about putting insurance in place for your child, it's about guaranteeing that insurability so that when life happens, when you become pre-diabetic or diabetic or something else happens in your life, you cannot be denied for insurance because your parents put that in place when you were little. And now you have this forever guarantee that you can increase your life insurance over 8 times over your lifetime without having to prove insurability. So no matter what may come, you've guaranteed that for them. And that's why I'm so passionate about that, because like you said, as we age, the numbers and the stats go up of what could happen, especially with our diet and lack thereof exercise. So there is no major pre-screening as long as there's not existing health conditions or concerns from a young age. Some babies are born with conditions, and therefore there's a conversation and there may be a few more questions involved from that young age. But generally children are pretty easy to insure immediately.
See, and I thought that was awesome. And it's preventable. That's the thing, is that pre-diabetes, diabetes, it's either preventable or in many instances it can be curable or at least diminished through proper nutrition and exercise. So not to say that somebody couldn't work their way through that, but it's just one of the signs. If 1 in 4 kids are at that level, not to say I'm going to bet that that's going to happen, but to say, what, let's insure them now, which I think what I thought was an advantage. Let's insure them now while they're at their healthiest, just in case it ends up being that 1 in 4, and down the line we're going to wish that we had insurance, but
for sure.
Did it at an earlier rate. So I really thought that was number one. I was surprised that there wasn't pre-screening for 18 and under with these kind of stats, but number 2, I was really happy that there also wasn't a screening so that they can get off to a good start for that. So. And there's lots of reasons for why this pre-diabetic, but one of them, I'm going to blame this Japanese manufacturer. I saw this I don't remember the name of them, nor do I really want to promote them anyway. But it's a Japanese manufacturer that's launched a gaming bed. It's a motorized gaming bed, and so the back comes up at least 60 degrees. The feet come up 35 degrees, so that when it's video game time, you don't have to roll out of bed. You just fold yourself up. And
wow.
I know. Wow. Right. And it comes with accessories. So it has, has a closet. You can get a bolt-on closet for this thing. So when your mom says, hey, you stink, you need to change clothes, you just have your change of clothes right there. Also, it has an energy bank. It's called an energy bank, which is basically a refrigerator to keep your Mountain Dew and a shelf to keep all your Doritos at. You don't have to move. The only thing that they didn't come up with was a catheter. You have to physically get up to go to the bathroom, which I'm kind of astonished. I'm really kind of astonished that they haven't come up with that.
I was expecting you telling me that there was something in the, the bottom of the bed, just underneath their bottom.
A bottom toilet. Yeah.
That lavatory purpose.
Yeah. I was just amazed by this thing to say, gosh, here we're talking about 28% of kids 12 to 19 years old are living sedentary lifestyles, and then we're creating more sedentary opportunities for them. So I'm all about developing fitness solutions. So I found gaming that gets you out of bed. It's a company called Stealth, and it's developed a device to game your core. Now, exercise gaming is a phrase that's being coined about video games to promote physical activity. I know through Oculus and various other things of gameplay. We used to call that thing Wii, right? That was called Wii about 10 years ago, but they've changed. They've said it's changed that. This thing is super cool. It is and super simplistic. It's like a Bosu ball. So it's a rounded ball on the bottom. I know Beth knows what that is, but for our listeners who can't see me do this hand gesture, it has there's a ball on the bottom of this platform. And it has a space to put your cell phone that has different video games on it, where you move your core around to whether to put the ball into the hole, or there's this racing game on it. But I thought it was super, super cool that there's this video game that you can play while you're attached to a different version of a Bosu ball. It was really fantastic. And I thought, you've got this gaming bed. Let's talk about the flip side of that. And I thought, you know what? Thank you, gaming companies, for coming out for ways to keep people fit and healthy while they're having fun as well. And I thought that was really, really cool. So
you're in a plank position, like a fish. You got your hands on that Bosu ball. It reminds me of that, there's a game where you put the little like steel marble, and it's a maze, and you're moving it up and down, left and right. And you're trying to move this ball through the maze. And it sounds like the Bosu ball idea is kind of a kickoff from that thing. That's called synthetic creativity right there.
It is.
Taking one idea and then boosting it into another.
And it's one of those things. It's one of those aha moments where you're like, dang it. I've had a Bosu ball in my studio for a year. At no point did I think about taping a cell phone to it to play video games on it. That's fantastic. That's great. But there's all these pieces of equipment. There's Tonal. Tonal's got some great stuff. There's all these different places that are developing extra gaming, which I think is absolutely, absolutely fantastic. As much as I believe that people should use the services of of professional personal trainers and those that are in the exercise industry to do it properly, I also understand that sometimes something is better than nothing, and this thing is even way better than something. This thing is absolutely fantastic.
Is it like a free app?
I think the app would be free if you buy. It's called Stealth, but so you buy the unit. And I think the unit was, it may have been $150 or so, which is about the price of a Bosu ball anyway. It's on a triangle, a pyramid platform, and there's a table on it, and that table rotates on the pyramid, just the same thing off of a Bosu, and it was absolutely fantastic. And Mr. Stealth, I'm not taking money from Mr. Stealth to endorse this, but Mr. Stealth, I would endorse this for you too. So just so you know, if Mr. Stealth is one of our 17 and a half listeners, I will endorse this for you, and you can be a paid sponsor, just so that you knew. It's pop culture pop quiz time. Everybody knows what this is.
My favorite part about this feature is that I get to play. I get to be part of the contestants here with you, Beth, and I honestly, I don't get to know the answers to these questions, so it's truly a fair game.
The pop culture pop quiz works like this. I'm going to ask a series of questions. You're going to be paired off against Kim. We're going to score points for every correct answer that was done. We're going to add up the total, and if you get at least second place, if you get at least a silver medal in this, you get to move on to your interview round.
Oh, I don't get a stealth Bosu ball for second place?
No, that's not a bad
in my
idea.
head.
But if you come by
right.
BC Studio, we'll probably have those stealth Bosu balls here before long for sure. Okay, so today's pop culture pop quiz is in honor of our lovely guest who has spent a lifetime in athletic medicine and working with athletes. So this one is celebrities who were athletes. I will name the celebrity. You tell me what sport they were excelled in, whether it be in high school, college, or even the pros. Are we ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Ready.
Everyone knows Dwayne Johnson as The Rock in WWE. He was a professional wrestler. What other sport did Mr. Johnson excel in?
Baseball.
Football.
That is correct. He excelled in football. He was with the University of Miami on the 1991 national team. That point goes to Kim on that one.
There's a TV show about him growing up that I've been watching. I can't think of the name of it, but that's the only reason why I needed that.
Okay. Hit me, baby, one more time. We got Britney Spears. What was she good at?
If it's not cheer, I'm going to go with basketball.
Holy cow, she's a ringer. It's basketball. She was a high school basketball star at Park Lane Academy in Macomb, Mississippi. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong, but it's Macomb, Mississippi. She was a basketball star. Who knew?
I couldn't see her playing hockey or football. So
holy cow, Kim. Jeez. We got the 90s musical sensation Sheryl Crow.
I want to say a runner, track, cross country.
Killed
like
it.
That.
Killed it. 75-meter low hurdles for Kennett High School in Kennett, Missouri.
Nice.
That one goes to Beth. Nice job, Beth.
I did not have a clue.
Yeah, her and I go way back. No,
for sure. Hey, Kim,
kidding.
if we have to describe who this gentleman is, we can certainly do that. We can take a pause. It's a man by the name of Tom Selleck.
Come on! We're friends. Oh my gosh, come on.
You're the kid of the group. I thought I would have to explain it. Tom Selleck.
Volleyball.
Show. Oh, I'm going to go with football.
No, Tom Selleck was a USC, University of Southern California basketball star in his day. That goes to Zero Buddies. Before he was married with children, Ed O'Neill played this sport.
Baseball.
I'm going to go with lacrosse.
Nope. Ed O'Neill, he was an undrafted free agent for the Pittsburgh Steelers, a defensive lineman. He never made it to the actual games because at that time the Pittsburgh Steelers was the steel curtain, and he could not bust into the steel curtain. I had the best defenses of all times.
Boy.
Sorry, this is a tough one. Okay. Emma Watson.
Oh, she's got to be a gymnast.
I was going to say ballet.
Field hockey at Brown University.
That's awesome. I had no idea.
Go, Emma.
Okay. I'm going to go back to a couple local. We're going to finish this up with a couple local boys here.
Oh, boy.
Chris Pratt from Lake Stevens High School.
Baseball.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. Baseball.
No, he was a wrestler. He excelled in wrestling.
That makes sense too.
And then Joe McHale, he was in the sitcom The Community. He was a two-sport athlete at the University of Washington. Can you name one of the sports?
Baseball.
Football.
Football. He was football, and rowing was the other one.
Oh, cool. I love rowing.
The point goes to Beth for that one.
I figured you'd like that. That came out a tie. That was a lucky number 7 podcast first. Folks, we had a tie. I wasn't prepared for that. So podcast 8 will work on a tiebreaker thing. So Beth, you get to move on. You get to move on to why you came here. Kim, can you talk about our lovely Beth Wolfe?
I'm thrilled to formally introduce our special guest today, Brett. We have the founder and owner of Platinum L.I.F.E Coaching, Beth Wolfe Global Solutions. Beth has received multiple honors, such as Outstanding Athletic Trainer from the University of Puget Sound for saving a life. Wow. Thank goodness. An honor award from the Washington Department of Transportation for creating an injury prevention program for Kitsap Transit. And provided athletic medicine for the 1992 men's Olympic rowing team in Europe, the Goodwill Games in the Pacific Northwest, and the first women's Olympic marathon trials in Olympia, Washington. In her free time, Beth enjoys the outdoors, meditating and reading. She is the queen of self-development and personal betterment. She also loves to travel and meet people from other countries. I could go on and on and on for much longer, but I think I'll stop here and say again how wonderful it is to have this inspirational mother, friend, coach, business owner with us here today. Please give me a warm welcome for Miss Beth Wolfe.
Yay!
Thank you, Kim.
You
and a mentor of mine and a mentor of many. So it took 7 podcasts, but dang it, we finally got her on there. This is a busy lady doing wonderful, amazing things.
I love people. I love people.
So Beth, we're so glad to have you on. Could you explain to us how Platinum L.I.F.E keeps people fit? How do you and Platinum L.I.F.E keep people fit?
Well, one of my strongest beliefs is that, we are fit from the inside out. And it's just not about our physiology that's fit, but it's also our mind, body, and spirit. There's more to us than just our, trillions of cells. And that's one of the things that I love to serve people is what we are thinking and feeling is first in thought, then in form. And so I love helping people take the invisible and making it visible. Sometimes we ask the question is it safe to walk down the hallways of my own brain? Sometimes we're in there kicking our own ass. It's not a healthy place to be. So that's one of the things that I love to do is, sometimes it might be nice to have a hallway with padded walls so that as you're, we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. And many times they're not very nice. So we're not very nice to ourselves. We're not very fit to ourselves. And we're running stories that are in our mind that are really not serving our highest and greatest good. And a lot of them are not true. A lot of times our thoughts are, and our doubters are traitors. And so that's one of my specialties is helping people know that they're authentically awesome. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I love that.
It really kind of it transcends just one type of person that you work with or one characteristic. Because I know a lot of business folks that you work with. I know a lot of business folks that attribute a large amount of their successes to having conversations with you. How does your style of coaching change from somebody who's looking to improve their personal relationship versus somebody who's looking to create a better professional relationship?
Yes, it does. One of the greatest ways for all of us to come from something is use the current curriculum of their life. So that's pretty much evidence of what we're believing of ourselves is the current curriculum of our life, and we can use it. And so I really help people tap into their mastery. And whether it's personal or professional, it really starts with us believing, do we deserve it?
How would somebody recognize that it's time to take themselves to the next level?
Number one is a discontent. You're discontented, and it's a great sign that there is something that wants to grow in you and from you. So, and then the other is that you're longing for something. Those are both signs of growth. And a lot of times we'll see those things as negative. Oh, isn't a discontent and a longing negative? No, it's not. A perfect client is really someone that has a longing and a discontent for more. They have a vision. And a lot of times they're stuck on the how, which is completely the wrong direction to come from. That's when you know that a life coach would really serve you, is you want to expand more of your life. You want to express more. You want to experience more. And you're stuck on the how. And I want to introduce that asking how to do something is usually a very low vibration question, because you're coming from your current level of view, your current level of perception. And so you'll stay at that level. So unless you open yourself up to more high calibrating questions, you're not going to shift your life. And so it's the same thing with a coach and an athlete. The coach opens up the athlete to a new way of doing something, or a little tweak in their technique, or, you know, something to that nature. And that's what life coaches do, is they help address that longing and discontent. And they also decrease the overwhelm. I encourage all my clients, do not use that word overwhelm. And they're like, why not? Well, let's look at a teacup, and we want to leave room for more to be poured in. And if you say that you're overwhelmed, then there's no room in your mind, your spirit, and your energy. So just the shift in perception that I give my clients is that they're feeling a bit whelmed. I'm feeling a bit whelmed rather than overwhelmed. So if you're feeling a bit whelmed and you are asking the how questions, a life coach like me is a perfect answer.
A life coach specifically like you, because Kim Aker and I both have benefited greatly from having known you and being coached by you.
I was going to say, I benefit from having lunch with Beth Wolfe, but that can just be in your presence to have these conversations. I mean, those questions just pour out of you, and I leave every single interaction with you just wondering, like, man, I feel good. Like, what just changed? Like, how am I already, like, we're not even in a session right now and I'm already grown. So,
and for me, it's kind of both ways, Kim. I leave and I'm like, why didn't I think of that? I leave and I feel like, geez, it was so easy. How come I didn't think about that? Why wasn't that my decision to start with? So
I have to say, like, just because of the amazing woman that I know that you are, this next question, I can't wait to hear your answer on it. And it is, if you wrote an autobiography, Beth, what would be the name of your autobiography?
Courageous Life in Full Expression.
Love it. Do you have a book called that?
I do now.
Yeah. I'm like, have you started writing that? Because I want to read it. Put me on the list.
So it wouldn't be Fitness Full Circle podcast if we didn't throw you for a loop on this one too. If this autobiography was made into a TV movie, who would be cast for your character?
Tay Leone.
I figured that. When you said that your favorite show was Madam Secretary, I was like, that makes sense. That makes total sense.
Her.
Both
I could see
bold,
that too.
bold, beautiful women. Both of you are, two peas in a pod, without a doubt on that one.
I would love to meet her someday.
Well, she could be one of our listeners. We don't know.
You don't know.
We'll try to make that work for you, Beth. We're gonna pull some strings.
Awesome.
We'll try to make that work for you.
That would definitely be a super fun to sit down and have a cup of coffee or go on a kayak with her or something like that.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Super fun.
We've talked about being a life coach. We talked about how you help others. Can you give us a tip or two on, maybe how our listeners could help keep themselves fit? Are there some things that our listeners can do within themselves to better themselves?
Yeah, I love that question. So I would answer it with brave thinking. And what is brave thinking? I'll give you the number one key to brave thinking. is you notice what you're noticing. You notice, are you thinking in the past? Are you thinking in the future? It's really about us being present. And whatever problem, situation, or circumstance that we are not just facing, but experiencing, it may be an evolutionary opportunity for us. It usually is. And so if we ask the question, what would love do? What would it come from? Being love, self-love is ultimately the best. It's going to increase that self-deserving, that self-love. And if we are ultimately loving ourselves, then that's what we have to give to those around us. But it takes a question of, what am I noticing that I'm noticing? Am I focused on the problem, or am I focused on, you want to acknowledge a problem and then ask the next question, that if this problem was solved, what would be one step that I could take from the solution of it? And notice just the calibration of those words. It wasn't, how do I get to the solution? If we already knew how to get to the solution, then we wouldn't have the problem, right? It's not a very helpful question. But if we ask the knowing that is in us, what would be one step today that I could take from the feeling that my wish is already fulfilled and that it's solved? Here's a great word picture for all of your listeners that aren't watching us, but they just hear this visual, is imagine you have a turntable and you put your vinyl record on that turntable, and it's a song that's all sad and about the past. And I would invite us to take that vinyl record player off and put on a new one, and put the needle down and notice what you would be noticing if you were living your life in full expression, a life that you really love. What song would that be? What stories would you be telling yourself? What emotions would you be experiencing? So, number one tip, think brave and notice what you're noticing.
That's awesome.
Love it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
If our listeners, and I'm sure there's many of them that you've piqued their interest and are intrigued, if they wanted to explore life coaching, or even go to the point of having a discovery session with you, how could our listeners / viewers get a hold of you best?
Well, through Teo Leone, my favorite friend now. No, I'm just kidding. Just putting it out there in the universe. No, this is what's really cool, is I actually give 30-minute complimentary discovery sessions. And so they can go to my website, www.bethwolfe.com, and just on the first page, they can slide down there and set up a phone call or a Zoom call with me, and I'll take them through a discovery session of what their current conditions are, what they get to bridge over, and what they begin to build. So I love to do that. Yeah. Come on over.
That is a terrific value. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I've gotten to do those with you two before.
We have. I brought a lot out of that as well. So
I know. I quit my job and started BC Fitness Studio, and inevitably now we have Fitness Full Circle, and so I will warn people, unless you want to make real changes in your life, I probably wouldn't. I probably would just keep doing the same grind you're doing every single day. So, but if you want to make real changes and really prosper, I think that discovery session would be very eye-opening for folks, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And, when the student's ready, the teacher comes. And, what's really cool is I do evocative coaching, which is really from allowing the person to know that they're their highest authority. And so that builds a calmness and a confidence and a courageousness that was one of my longing and discontents that I didn't have in my life, and I'm still growing in, is because Man, I've done some scary things in my life that have shifted, and
Mhm.
I didn't always know what was around the corner. So there was a lot of growth and a lot of trust that I got to grow in.
That's awesome.
I've got one question that I'd love to ask you, and that is, why did you become a life coach? Like, what brought you here to help other people in the life coaching space?
Yeah, I love that question. It helps show my own vulnerability, that my life itself was in the, it was in the pits. And finishing up a 30 plus year career in athletic medicine and doing another career, prevention in motion. I have always loved to inspire people. And I felt that the one person that I hadn't inspired very much in the last, 15 years was myself. And I really wasn't living a life that I loved. And so I completed a 25-year marriage, and super scared to do that, just with the financial insecurities, and really hadn't have a regular income for myself. And behind all of that, I wasn't happy. I was discontent. I had longings, and I wanted to live a life in more full expression. And so I left that marriage, and it took me 7 years to leave. And I actually kind of got booted out at the end, that I just kind of got a little boot, and then asked the question, what do I want to do next? And was to really inspire people and my own greatness. And I knew that I had turned down my own greatness for a long, long time. I can remember a quick story. When I was a little girl, my mom came to pick me up. I was being babysat by this amazing lady, Alice, and she was this, lanky, like olive oil, super nice Southern lady. And my mom comes to pick me up, and the lady Alice goes, Maxine, I just love your daughter, but sometimes she is just like too much, and it's just, I don't know what to do with all of that energy. And I can recall getting in the car, and my mom said, Beth, you got to turn it down. You're too much. And that kind of set me in a direction that was not real healthy for me. And it took me decades to kind of find my own feet again. And again, nothing bad from my mom. My mom is a great mom. But that was my inspiration, was to help myself, to live my authentic self, and to turn my greatness back up again. Because I had turned it down for a long time. And I had been living a life for other people. I was living it for my kids. I was living it for my husband, rather than really feeding myself first. And so that's why I got in life coaching, help
That's
myself,
fantastic.
so I could help others.
Well, that was a fantastic segment, Beth. Thank you so much. It was great to hear about what you do and how you help others. This brings us to the grinder.
The grinder.
Beth, the grinder is a series of simple would you rather questions relating to the topics we discussed in the podcast, general topics, or whatever we feel like. Are you ready?
Ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Go ahead, take it away, Kim.
Number 1, would you rather go kite skiing in Fiji or snow skiing in Italy?
Golly gee whiz, talk about my tip-top favorites. I'll take kite surfing in Fiji.
Nice. You didn't realize we were going to hit you so hard, did we?
Gosh, two of my faves at my top list. I've skied a lot, but I haven't kite surfed. So,
all right.
Could I do that before I was 60? I'm in it. I'm on it. I want it.
Nice. Would you rather compete on The Amazing Race or pitch your idea for Shark Tank?
Pitch my idea for Shark Tank.
Wow. I love that. That one surprised me, though. Okay. Would you rather be a motivational speaker or a pro sports team trainer?
Motivational speaker. Already kind of done the pro sports training thing. Kind of already tasted that flavor a little bit in life.
That's fantastic. You passed through the grinder.
Ooh.
Yep, you did
That
well.
was a quick grinder.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Now we're going to move
to fit or flop.
Yep. Now we're moving to fit or flop, which is a bunch of occupational specific show related topics. Or again, whatever we feel like. You're going to answer fit if it's a good idea, or flop if it's not so much.
Okay. And this is all about my personal perspective, huh?
Yep.
All right. New Year's resolutions. Is it a fit or is it a flop?
That's a flop. New Year's resolutions, there is some great energy at the beginning of the year. Yet New Year's resolutions are most of the time fleeting. And so they don't really serve us. And sometimes they're really not from our soul. And they can be a little bit external. So I have found that, we want to be coming from our goals on a daily basis, an intention, not just a 1 year's resolution.
I love it.
Nice.
And you and I both have similar views. We have
We're
similar.
more than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So the stress ball, the stress ball, I know you talk a lot about stress and distress. Is the stress ball, is that a fit or a flop?
Is it a fit or a flop to reduce your stress? Is that what I'm going to,
Whoa, this is the first question.
I'm coming back with a question. I am.
We are doing all kinds of podcasts first here, Kim.
This is amazing.
Well, there's probably some scientific studies out there that it works, or they're anecdotal, and somebody's made a lot of money off a little football.
Yeah, it's the placebo. I always believe in the placebo effect too. If you think it works, it works.
It could be. So, I'd say kind of fit. Can I say kind of fit?
We can do kind of fit. Yeah, we're doing all kinds of firsts in this podcast.
Answers.
Yeah.
This is Beth outside of the box. Not only do I not have a box with walls, it doesn't even exist. I'm roaming free.
Well, that is it. That is podcast number 7, Under Wraps. Thank you, our special guest, Beth Wolfe. It was wonderful listening to you. A lot of people can benefit from you. Again, if you want to contact Beth, go to her website. It's bethwolfe.com. That's Wolf with an E. And she will set you up, like she said here, that she will set you up with a 30-minute discovery session, which I think is absolutely amazing and beneficial. And if you're not taking advantage of that, you're wrong. So that's all you can say about that. In the next episode, we're going to have David Waddleton from Waddleton Tax. Well, guess what? Today is tax day, folks. If you need a tax professional, it's too late. But what David Waddleton is going to do is he's going to help you get ready for 2022. There's not a lot you can do about 2021, but he's going to be on board to tell us how he keeps people ready for 2022 and tips and tricks for keeping yourself ready for 2022. And again, if you want a t-shirt, our nice Fitness Full Circle t-shirt, and all of our guests get one. There's no drawing for you. You're going to get one. Kim, we lowered the bar for this. What do they got to do?
Did. They have to make a comment on one of our listening platforms. So whether that be YouTube or one of the audio only versions, we need just to get your comments in, and that will enter you into a drawing to get a free t-shirt.
That
no
is
strings attached.
Fantastic. And then will be even sourced from domestically this time, I'm sure.
Yes. Possible.
Okay, well, that closes it out, Beth. Thank you so much. Kim, you're wonderful. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being our co-host. That's Fitness Full Circle.
Yeah. Thanks so much, you guys. Super
Thanks,
fun
everybody.
and a pleasure to be here. See you till next time.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.